You're watching Melanie's Matters TV and radio, where we highlight artists, business owners, and we always talk about the matters of the community. Today, we have guest Erika Buffalo. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Melanie's Matters TV and radio. I'm so excited about today's show, and it's because this is January. And everybody knows in January, people make promises that they're going to do what? Drop the pound, start exercising, start eating right. So today we have Miss Erika Buffalo, and she's here, and she's going to educate us on being healthy in general. So Erika, how are you?
I'm doing great, Melanie. How are you?
I'm great. I'm absolutely great. So, of course, we're talking about being educated and fitness and everything. So, what is your perspective on that?
That's a great question. I think personally, from my experience, I definitely think that it's important to know your body. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Mm-hmm. Everyone can't approach fitness the same kind of way. You have to understand what your body goes through, what kind of physical ailments you have, in addition to your the history of your family. You know, you may have, diabetes, may have a high risk for cancer and some other things. You definitely need to understand what's going on with that. So I definitely say start with talking to your doctor and getting some blood work done and finding out what things you should be concerned about. Mm-hmm. Once you've completed that, some people like to consider taking supplements. I'm not a big supplement person, but some people like it and it works for them. Me personally, when I got into getting fit, I thought about what I wanted to do. It was beyond the physicality of it. It really was just living a longer life. I have parents that passed from heart disease related illnesses. So to me, it was sort of kind of like life after death. Mm-hmm. You know, having to bury them in my 20s, I decided that I wanted to live a longer life. And it was important to get moving. That was my first thing, to get moving. And I started by, doing Zumba and fell in love with Zumba, but it wasn't enough. I needed more. Started going to the gym. It wasn't enough. I needed more. Graduated to a personal trainer, and then, started realizing that just by sharing my experience, I started to encourage other people. And ended up becoming a fitness instructor. I mentioned it being your own personal journey because it's not going to work the same for everybody else. I think it's important to tap into what works for you. Zumba doesn't work for me anymore, so it's something that I don't do. But it does work for other people. Right. So you have to definitely find out, what works for you, what you can and can't do. I have a bad knee. No one would know that. But I know that I have a bad knee. So when I do things, I do them the best way for me. But you definitely have to communicate that with people you're going to work with, especially if you're going to work with an instructor. You want to tell them what kind of physical ailments you have. That's just like if you have any, family history of high blood pressure, things like that. You want a meal plan. You have to definitely let the person know that these are things you should be aware of.
And she's absolutely right. And just a personal note, when I was in my early 20s, many years ago, I went to the doctor. Now, I'll tell you guys, I was 198 pounds. And when I went to the doctor, I went because my knee was hurting, and I was just heavy. I was just very, very heavy. And so when I went, I wanted him to give me a pill. To fix me. And a Jewish doctor, bald Jewish guy, never forget. He said, "You're in your 20s. Do you have children?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Well, do you want to live long enough to see your grandchildren?" And when he said that, I'm like, "What?" And he said, "You need to lose the weight. You need to lose the weight. Your knee hurts." And he's like, "What else hurts?" And I'm going through this long laundry list of things that hurt. Right. Exactly. His point. Exactly. But two things happened for me in my journey, my personal journey. It was that, and it might sound crazy, but I had a toothache. But when I went, I didn't know it was a toothache. It was a face ache. If anybody have ever had that, I couldn't even lay down. I couldn't lay down. I had to sleep really elevated. So with that, I went to the doctor 1 week. The next week, it was my face thing. By the time they went through all the examinations, they found out I had like a cracked tooth. But it took them a very long time to figure this out, because it wasn't my tooth, it was my face that hurted. So when that happened, I had to get the tooth pulled, So I'm sitting in Giants, I'll never forget it. And I said, today, as bizarre as it sounds, because I couldn't eat food. I had to eat soup, things like that. So I said, today is my day to start. So from what the doctor said and what I found out, the dentist had to get my tooth pulled. That was the beginning of my weight loss journey, which is bizarre. I know it sounds bizarre, everyone, but it kind of like put things in perspective, for me. So I just wanted to share that. And I know, Erika, you said that your mom passed.
My mom and my dad passed.
Your mom
within 2 years. Wow. And my mom had sarcoidosis, which is something that's it's increasing in the African American community with women specifically. It's the same thing that Bernie Mac was diagnosed with before passing. Oh, wow. And there's no cure. And what happens is it's an immune deficiency disease that affects your major organs. So once it's there, all you can do is to try to live with it. They give you prednisone and steroids to help you live longer. And with that said, she had it diagnosed on her eyes in addition to her lungs. So her lungs worked so hard that her heart failed. And my dad suffered from having 4 strokes, and it was definitely a lot to see them go through it. And similar to Melanie, I think I looked at the scale, was 235 pounds, and I was I was in my mid-20s, if not early 20s, and I was okay, I was confident, I was happy, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but I knew that if I wanted to turn 50, because they didn't turn, if I wanted to turn 60 and live my 50s, my mom died at 52, my dad died at 55, that I would have to change my life. And slowly but surely, I worked towards it. In the beginning, I got a trainer. My ex-husband was like, all right, we're going to do this. I did it for 60 days, and I did well. I dropped 20 pounds in a month because I was mad, but I wasn't mad enough to change my life. Once I got to the point where, I really sat and looked at everything happened. My marriage ended. I buried my mom. I buried my father. We've also buried some other members of his family, his whole generation, his mom, his dad, his brother, his brothers, his sister, burying everyone and watching my cousins grieve. And it's all heart disease related. We decided, we have to decide today to live after seeing their death. And with that came, a lifestyle change. We're talking about New Year's resolutions, and I like to call them life solutions. We had to decide that we were going to live a better life, and I've been promoting it and sharing it every single day. It's about what I eat, it's about what I think, it's about what I read, mind, body, and spirit. It's a trifecta. It's holistic. If you want to change your life, you got to really value who you are, realize how worthy you are to yourself, and make those changes accordingly. You want junk in, it's going to come out. You got to be good to yourself.
And on that note, we're going to take a very short break. We'll be right back in a few moments. You're watching Melanie's Matters TV and Radio. This show is sponsored by Atypical Journey, now available on Amazon.com. Now, back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We are here with Erika, a fitness instructor, and we're kind of like sharing some things, to help everybody to really understand this being healthy, not just weight loss, exercise, whatever, but just being, a healthy individual. And it's a mindset. It's a mindset that is not easy. It is so not easy. So I would like Erika to expand on how it wasn't easy for her.
Oh yeah, most certainly making a change to change my life impacted me in more ways than you would believe. I mean, socially, even with my friends, and just deciding that, I was going to care more about myself and my body than what other people thought. I decided that, I was going to be conscious of the things that I ate. I started counting calories, I started devoting my time to going to the gym, not 2 days a week, not 3 days a week. I mean, it was a point where I went 5 days a week, and I would not miss that hour because it made me feel good. It was my time to distress and sort of kind of, focus on me. Often we spend so much time worrying about what everybody else thinks that we fail to realize, what do we think about ourselves, and making a life solution is just that. You have to realize that, you're one person, we're born alone, we're going to die alone, but in the meantime, what do we do for ourselves? How good are we going to be to ourselves? I've had girlfriends say, oh, well, you don't eat this and you don't eat that, and yeah, I don't eat certain things, but it's not because I'm just a picky eater. It's because I decided I wanted to change my lifestyle. And in doing that, I have to be mindful of the things that work for me. Not everything works for me. Right. What works for Melanie isn't going to work for me. What works for me isn't going to work for her. Which is why I mentioned earlier that it's important to embrace your journey and realize that it's personal. I don't eat red meat, but that's a personal choice. I don't like how it makes me feel. I have nothing against people that do eat it, But when I eat it, I feel fatigued. I feel like my world is ending. I feel uncomfortable, so I don't eat those things. However, I have nothing against people that do it, you know. Just like dating and going back to the social aspect, you know, I've had guys say to me, well, you don't eat this, I'm not going to take you out, you know. Or, you know, I liked you when you were bigger because you wanted to do this and you wanted to eat that. And, you know, in the beginning, you deal with those challenges and you have to realize that if you're not good to yourself, no one else is going to be good to you. You know, maybe I won't date him anymore, but I'll live another day. You know what I mean? And that's more important. You know, if you can't love me where I am, you're definitely not going to love me where I'm going. So why be bothered with it?
Wow. Did she not say a mouthful? You know, and I think on your, you know, getting fit journey, getting healthy journey, you're going to come up against people who are not going to agree, you know, as Erika said, and I can definitely, you know, attest to that. I know in my own personal journey I cut out the fast food, but I would treat myself on the weekends. You know, I lived for the weekends. But, you know, they didn't understand my plight. They didn't understand that, you know, I had this little Jewish doctor telling me, well, do you want to see your grandkids, you know, and, you know, you need to lose the weight. They didn't understand that, you know, and when we're talking about feeling good and you're talking about, you know, when you went to the gym and you exercised and you felt great, I went through that same thing. You did 5 days a week and I did 5 days a week too. And I would not miss a day. If I missed a day, like if I had something to do, I would make it up.
Guilty.
Yeah, but you know, I would find a way, okay, well, I'm gonna exercise twice today, or I'm gonna do it on Saturday. I will find a way because my life was changing.
Absolutely.
My life, and for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I got obsessed with it. Did you become?
Absolutely.
You did.
Well, you gotta remember when you work out, your body produces endorphins. You live for that moment. You know, a lot of people exercise. Well, you know, I ate this, I'm gonna work it off. No, reward yourself. Exercise is a reward. The feeling you get is uncomparable. No one can give you that feeling, and the beautiful thing is you gave it to yourself. You know, you put in the energy, the focus, you committed that 60 minutes to feeling wonderful. It's a reward. You know, when you exercise, you're telling your body, you know what, I owe this to you. I'm going to dedicate this moment. It's only 60 minutes. You know, it's 4% of your day. Just 4%. I mean, we all have that to spare. You talk on the phone, you're on Facebook, all of that. I mean, just put it down for a moment and get move that time and get moving.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you know, it's a big epidemic here, especially in the cities, and you know, especially in the African American communities. We have to get away from being obese. You know, if you are a healthy 200 pounds, you know, that's fine. But let me tell you something, because everybody's not a size 4, everybody wasn't meant to be, you know, a size 4, but I'm going to tell you something. Your health is priceless. And I'm going to say that again. Your health is priceless. When I see, and I have nothing against people who are obese, but when I see people that it's just like no limit. It's like, okay, you're eating 2 ding dongs and you're reaching for the Chinese food over here. And it's like, do you understand what you are doing to your body? What are you doing to your body? You are destroying your body. It's bad enough that us, as you know, being human beings, we really wasn't meant to eat all the stuff that we eat. You know, and with us moving in such a fast state, you know, it's like every day the population becomes bigger. So what happens is that when they produce food, they're putting on toxins and everything, and so it's already bad enough with that. So you definitely have to watch what you eat, and you definitely have to monitor your weight. I'm telling you, it is a must, because I think we have more African American people with hypertension, all types of issue, high blood pressure, which is a form of hypertension. And it's only because of what you eat. It's only because of what you eat.
And we tend to make excuses as a community. You know, we were raised this way. My grandmother taught me how to cook this way. And you know, I'll be honest, it's nice to think about, you know, we were raised in that kind of household where they, you know, we didn't have lunch. So we made do with what we had.
Right, that's right.
And that's the only reason why we had it. Because if they knew what we knew, they would have gave us something different to eat. Yeah. They would have gave us better. Because our ancestors, our grandmothers and grandfathers, they loved us. So they wouldn't, of course, poison our minds and nourish us improperly. But what we have to do now, we have to stop making excuses. It costs equally as much to make better decisions in the grocery store. Yeah. But you have to focus your mind and think outside of the box to make those decisions. It's easy to revert to getting a chicken box around the corner. That's super easy to do. But it's just as easy to get some chicken breast and to grill it on the stove. It takes a little bit more of your effort, but it costs you the same amount of money, if not less, to go in and buy a pack of chicken and maybe some, whole grain rice. And it's better for you. It's going to fill you up more. You're not going to be sluggish. You're going to be in the right mental state. So I say, with the excuses, it's an excuse. My family has hypertension. My family has hypertension, high cholesterol, and I have none of it. And I'm proud to say I have none of it. I have none of those issues. I have a sister that had it, and, I stressed her for 1 year. You got to do better. One day I said, you know what? You don't want to do better? Don't. Just tell me how you want me to bury you. Tell me how you want me to send you off, because we have a nephew. You have a son, my nephew. And, when my father died, my nephew was born a couple of months later. I said, he's my reason I'm here. I call him my lifesaver, because I was down in the dumps when my mother died. And I was like a living zombie. But when my father died, I looked at my sister's stomach and I said, you know what? He's why we're going to live. Wow. So I said, what do you want me to tell him?
Wow.
And 50 pounds later, her pressure is still up, but it's going down. 50 pounds later, she actually spoke in one of my classes and said, you know what? If my sister didn't care enough to tell me, I wouldn't have cared enough to change me.
Wow. So on that note, we're going to take a very quick break.
You're watching Melanie's Matters TV and Radio. This show is sponsored by Lonjack Exquisite Events. Now, back to our show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are still talking here with Erika, and she's giving us great points on just being healthy and some of the decisions that you have to make. So we want to talk about the support system. So can you tell us a little bit about who is your support system now?
That's great. Who is my support system? A lot of my support system comes from my sisters in fitness. We all have our own journeys. A lot of them have become instructors like myself. Wow. And, we sort of kind of check in, via social media to see where we are. Every now and then you need, when you're encouraging others, every now and then you need somebody to encourage you. That's one of my big things I say, be encouraged and encourage another. You never know if sharing your day, sharing your journey is going to help someone else. So I definitely think it's important to, speak with like-minded people. And like I said, my fitness sisters, in addition to some of the people that's trained me, Tavon Mason, former NFL player. I've gone to his boot camp classes. He definitely makes sure I'm accountable for myself and realize, but if you live this life of fitness, there's certain things you have to do, and if you're going to preach it, you have to live it as well. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to tell you that I make the best decisions every single day, because I don't. I love a butter crunch cookie just like anybody else I know.
Oh gosh, she's taking me back to school.
However, I try to not eat those as much as I would normally eat them, because it is a lifestyle. I don't want to restrict myself, because I definitely think Sonia Burns is another instructor in the Baltimore area. She's big on don't deprive your body. If you want something, eat it. You don't have to eat it all though. If you want a pack of cookies, that doesn't mean eat the whole Chips Ahoy 20 pack. You don't have to eat the whole tray. Eat a couple. Satisfy that craving and that urge, and then move on. So as far as again, even with like family, I think a lot of my students are now, like we call it, they're our crew. That we support one another. When you don't show up, we want to know where you're at. Not that you have to come. However, somebody's concerned about you. Just showing that like that concern, and also encouraging people to really care about themselves and be good to yourself. I mean, that in itself, I think that like daily affirmations, to me, it's important to be good to myself every day. And that means telling Melanie, how wonderful she is for sharing all of this with her, her audience, in addition to, telling someone I see that's interested in starting a fitness journey that you can do it. It's not going to be easy, no. It's going to have days that you want to quit. You're going to backslide. You're going to fall down. But it's okay, because you can keep moving. You can get back up and keep moving.
So let's talk about, on those days when you're like, you know what? I'm going to eat that tray of cookies. I don't give a damn. I'm going to eat that tray of cookies. So what advice can you give people who are experiencing that, or who have experienced that?
Well, I mean, if you want to eat the cookies, eat them. don't kill yourself because you ate the cookies. I mean, it's a cookie, pick yourself up and keep moving. I mean, if you still want to feel better and fitness is something you want to continue to pursue, look at tomorrow as a brand new day. Every day is another 24 hours to keep moving. So what? You made a bad decision. I mean, and I say bad decision because those cookies are going to come with the after effect. You're going to feel sluggish.
Yes.
Your stomach's going to hurt. You might not be able to use the bathroom regularly. It's going to have a consequence. So, pay the consequence and keep it moving. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow, eat more veggies. But I think it's important, and I spoke about Sonia because she's a big promoter of don't deprive yourself. If you want the steak, eat the steak. I don't like steak, but if you like it, eat it. If you have to eat it, I recommend you pick a leaner cut. However, it's a decision. It's all a choice, and the best thing is in this and anything, if you're going to make a life resolution, choose you. No one can live for you but you. You have to decide what is it worth to you. If you want the butter crunch cookies, eat the cookies. I eat the cookies. Not today. But I ate the cookies this week, and I felt so bad, like these cookies are the devil. Then I was listening to myself. I'm sitting here shunning a pack of cookies when I really want the cookies. So I ate the cookies. I'm Erika, and I ate the pack of cookies. And I did work out 2 hours afterwards, but I did eat the cookies. Okay. So it's okay. You're human. Count, I looked at it, it's 140 calories. I'm going to burn it off. I'm going to do a couple of burpees. It's not the end of the world.
See, and I ate the ice cream yesterday, so I ate a paint. But I usually eat like a half a paint. The ice cream is so good. I think it's the devil's food, I'm telling you. But I ate the whole damn thing, y'all. The whole paint, and I'm just sitting there like,
you just can't stop.
I can't stop. So that means, like you said, today I'm going to have to adjust some things that, a lot of things. Oh my God, yes, a lot of things. I'm gonna have to just drink water today, probably, to counter what I did yesterday. But it's all about knowing that and being responsible for that, and I think when you become educated as far as what food can possibly do to you if you overindulge, once you become educated, you start to really compute in your head.
You start to really understand.
You really start to understand. You say, okay, I messed up yesterday big time, so therefore, like you said, I do a couple burpees, and you start to really think about it and compute, because if you love you will do things differently. You'll try at least.
Yeah, one thing you said that I really like is, and Melanie said, research. Be your own expert. I empower each of my friends, part of the crew, and students. I'm not doing anything you can't do. I just decided that this is what I wanted to do, and I decided I wanted to share. Sort of kind of a form of my testimony, how I live in faith, and my purpose is to spread the word. However, you have the same right and entitlement to, and you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to find out, like I said in the beginning, find out what's going on with you physically. Talk to your doctor. Find out what affects your family, what may be affecting you personally, and do research. Find out what foods do you eat to make your cholesterol go down? What foods do you not eat to prevent, hypertension? Research and find out what kind of supplements, what kind of workout regimen it's going to work perfectly for your body, because we're not all built the same,
right.
And it's a beautiful thing, you have to be you to full, but in the midst of that, you have to also educate yourself, find out what classes work for you, find out, sometimes people don't want to work with other people, sometimes it's about being alone, I like group fitness, but I'll be honest, 2 times a week I really need to be alone. I mean, not alone, but I really want to do what I want to do, and you can't do that all the time with other people, so you gotta, be honest to yourself. Figure out what works for you and what doesn't, but that doesn't mean make another excuse. That means find another way to make it happen.
Nice. And on that note, we'll be right back in a few minutes.
Melanie's Matters TV and radio show. A word from one of our sponsors. Got tenant problems? Go to www.propertyownersbeaware.com. Now,
welcome back everyone. Erika is giving us some great tips on how to be fit and be healthy. So we're going to segue a little bit, and we're going to talk about just how to get started, how to do little things to get, to really get you going. So Erika, what is your perspective on just starting out?
First things first, decide to do it. You got to make a decision. I tell anybody, once you decide you want to do it, everything else is easier. As far as changing, my big thing I tell everyone is eliminate drinking your calories. Drink water. It's hard to do in the beginning, but it's so worth it. You can eat so much more if you just drink water all day. Eliminate the juice. You know, a lot of the juice is high in sugar. It has no nutrients for you. You're just really just drinking sugar all day. I say first and foremost, aside from getting started and making that decision, you know, first you got to say, I'm ready. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to commit to. I choose me. Number two, eliminate, watch what you're drinking. Eliminate wasted calories, that's what they're called. Eliminated wasted calories. Put things into your body that provide your body with nutrients and energy, and juices don't do that. So drink water. You know, in the morning, you know, a good way to start your day is drinking a cup of, I think they say warm water with some lemon in it. It really does work wonders. Aside from that, just really watch what you eat. You know, I'm a calorie counter, but it doesn't work for everyone else. You know, in my mind, I think that if I didn't count calories, I would still watch what I ate and make sure that I ate, you know, protein, of course, you know, plenty of veggies, whole grains, but definitely make sure that, you know, I do it on a regular basis. You know, it's important to eat beyond 3 times a day, because if not, your body automatically goes into starvation mode. Pack. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Definitely make sure you plan your meals out on Sundays. I call it Sunday Meal Prep Sunday. You know, making sure you're preparing for the week. You know, I keep nuts, raisins, grapes, fruit. You know, I keep those type of things handy because you're going to get hungry. It's a given. You know, and if you wait too long to eat, your body goes into starvation mode, and you store all of it, just like the squirrels store the nuts in their mouth. You know, you're going to store all of that because your body's like, I don't know when she's going to eat again. You know. I always recommend eating at least 5 to 6 times a day. You know, every 3 hours. You know, wake up, you drink, you eat. You know, for my typical day, I think I wake up, I had some yogurt. Then I may drink some water. You know, have a snack. For lunch, I'll have a salad or maybe even a sandwich, because lunch is probably my biggest meal of the day. Then I go ahead and eat some peanuts after that. Then I might eat dinner, you know, and I'll be honest, sometimes I eat a piece of meat, you know, and I eat lots of veggies, but I'm a big rice person. I'm not going to say I'm not. And I like fried rice, but that's what I know. So I make sure I make, you know, adjustments throughout the day. I'm not a bird eater. I can't eat salad every day, and I don't recommend anyone to, because again, your body needs certain nutrients, and if you eat just salad, where are you getting your protein from? You know, where are you getting the whole grains from? Where are you getting your dairy from? You have to really find out what makes a full diet, and make sure that you're adhering to those things, because your body does need those things. You know, also just like taking vitamins, there's certain things you should put into your body naturally. If you're not doing it by the food that you're eating, you definitely want to take a supplement to get that in your system. And as far as you know, a lot of people get kick-started with different products and different vendors. You know, they have Herbalife, you have Fit and Fabulous. You know, that's a personal decision. I'm not you know, I'll be honest, I'm a distributor, but I don't use it, so I don't really promote it. I wanted to learn more about being a health coach, so that was how I sort of kind of found out that information. But I think the best advice to give anyone is to become the queen or the king of your own health, and sort of kind of research that information and find out what works for you. You know, if eating 5 to 6 times a day is too much for you, then don't. But when you do eat, make sure that you're eating the proper things. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You know, make sure you're drinking plenty of water today. You know, critics will say drink 64 ounces or half your weight in water, but some people will say drink when you're thirsty. So it's a matter of who you're going to believe and what works for you. I can't drink. I'm weighing 170 pounds. I don't really want to drink that much water. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a lot. It's a lot going to the bathroom. But I am going to drink as much as I would like, you know. But I know people that can drink far more than that. Again, it's a personal preference. You know, does it work? Yeah, you eat less the more you drink. However, I would rather eat some more than to drink that much. So, you know, and just getting started, be honest with yourself. You know, decide that you want to do it. And I say research. You know, we have so much information available to us online, you know, books are sort of kind of underrated, even though it's great to go to the library and take some time to really focus on those things. But you have no excuse when you have a smartphone that can tell you anything you can ever imagine. So why not use those things? We have, you know, elementary school kids that could probably look up things quicker than we can, because we just don't take the time. So, you know, in getting it started, choose you. Be careful what you consume, you know, watch your diet, and also eliminate the excuses. That's the top 3 things I can think of. I think I said something else, but I can't remember. But I would definitely say choose you, be careful what you eat, and educate yourself on what you should eat, and eliminate the excuses.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Melanie's Matters TV and radio show. A word from one of our sponsors, Melanie's Matters TV and radio. We highlight artists, business owners, and we talk about the matters of
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and Erika's going to give us some tips on what you can do when you just have a couple minutes to work out. So, Erika, what do you have?
Some of the things that I do daily, I jump rope. I do jumping jacks, I do squats, and I also do some ab work. I definitely think everyone should plank every day. A plank is sort of kind of like a push-up, but it works on your core where you just stand in that motion as close as you can to the floor and just hold it. Also, you should stretch every single day. You know, if you don't have a jump rope, no problem, do your jumping jacks. At least, you know, start off slow. Commit to doing 20 a day and increase. Right now I do 100 jumping jacks a day, I do 100 squats a day. I try to plank as long as possible. You know, I'm iffy with it. Sometimes it's a lot of work. Sometimes it hurts a lot. So I'll be honest. You know, I could probably get to 60 seconds and I burn out. But definitely do it. You know, that's not a lot to get started. You know, you have steps, especially if you have steps in your home. Run your steps up and down your steps. It's great cardio. I mean, you're going to do it anyway. Especially when you're washing clothes. You know, I live in a 3-story house. In my basement is with wash and dryers. I run up and down the steps with the laundry in the process because why not make it a workout? You know, even when you're cleaning up, if you're cleaning up at a moderate pace, you're burning calories. It's exercising. You know, just try to keep it moving. When you're going outside, you know, a good friend of mine has a 60-a-day promise. When you're outside with your kids walking around, you're moving. It's exercise. Park further from the mall. Take that walk. You know, it's easy to run back in. If you're just running in for one thing, I understand why you don't do it. But think about it. You're running in for one thing and you have time. Why not park a few cars back and take that walk? It's exercise. You know, you have to keep moving. You have to start moving. You know, take walks, take runs. But specifically in the house, because you can't really run and walk around in the house. You know, use for example, use the water. Nice resistance. You know, do some bicep curls with that kind of. Those type of household items. You know, when you're bringing the groceries in, do it yourself. Don't get the kids to help you. You know, that's life resistance. It's lightweight training, believe it or not. But more importantly, just do something. You know, jump roping for 15 minutes is equivalent to running a mile. Many people don't know that. But it's very simple. And at our age, at my age, I know in the beginning it was hard to get back into that jump rope flow. But once you do, you remember why you loved it so much because it's fun. It's fun. So I'm trying to do small things that you can do at home that are also fun, that's not going to bore you. You got DVDs now, I think Comcast, everybody has different kind of fitness things that you can, you know, log into. You know, hit the button, hit the on demand and check it out.
See what's going on.
See what's going on. You know, challenges change you, and if you want to change and you want to be the best version of you got to step up to the plate and decide to do something.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Of course, you know, we're focusing on dropping the pounds, making some definite life changes. It's just life changes. So, Erika gave us some very great tools to use. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's no excuse. If you want to live, we have a lot of people who are just dying at young ages, you know, and if you want to live, you got to make some changes. You definitely got to make some changes, and it starts today. So get up, do some squats, do some push-ups, do jumping jacks, do it all, because you owe it to you. You owe it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to view this, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will be talking to you soon. Take care.
TV and radio. Please be sure to subscribe and check us out on the radio.